Hey, my name is Shadowsense and you're watching First Bite. So, we're not going to choose I'm an expert on your kind because that got us killed. Although it was very hot and I'm into it, we're not doing it this time. I'm still not convinced you're real. If you don't know what happened, first of all, why are you watching the second video instead of the first one first? Weird. But also, we discovered that the spooky old house is home to 3 incredibly sexy vampires. I stand my ground. Surely I can easily play their game and win them over with compliments. There's just no way you're not LARPers. Silly, sexy LARPers. I smirk at them, trying my best to make sure it doesn't shake. It doesn't shake nervously at the edges. Either way, I guess it doesn't matter. Laurel exhales a lilting laugh.
Que sera? Certainly an interesting credo to live by.
What does que sera mean?
And die by.
Because I have no idea.
You really are quite bold for a blood bag, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe a little too bold. I admire your tenacity, I suppose. We'll indulge you, but this is truly your last chance. Ilias, clearly on a different page than Laurel and Valeria entirely, flexes his big beefy arm.
I just can't believe you think that humans could ever have muscles like mine.
They can. Have you seen any professional wrestlers or bodybuilders? Valeria narrows her eyes at me as Ilias. Oh, I almost read that as Ilias. Valeria narrows her eyes at me as Ilias palms his fist. He looks pretty keen on ripping me to shreds.
Illy? Not yet.
A moment of raw tension passes.
This better be as fun as you seem to think it will be, Laurel. I can think of a million better ways to spend my time.
Twitter, for example. That's not a good way to spend your time. Laura pointedly ignores her.
Tell me, what exactly drove you to fling yourself into this pit of vipers, human?
I wanted to explore a creepy old house at 3 a.m. Ilias grumbles.
God, it's so boring when you play Puppet Master. I'm over it. Enough talking. I'm taking what's mine.
A look passes over Valeria's face like she's suddenly reconsidering things.
Oh.
You suddenly don't want to hunt him now, Illy? Ilias grumbles.
Come on.
He's just standing there like we owe him something.
A hunt can take many forms, Ilias.
Even that of light chit-chat. Ilias throws them both a look of open disgust, but his sigh sounds a lot like defeat. However temporary that may be.
Ugh.
I'll make it fun for you, Illy.
If I don't, I'll finally bring that pretty little clerk home for dinner.
I'll even let you have the first bite.
That's the name of the game! The beefy vampire remains unconvinced. You don't make it easy, do you? Let's bring out the big guns, shall we? And here I was, saving this treat for a special occasion. Ilias perks up a bit at that.
Humor me, and I'll hand over that extra special, super rare Wakelad spread from the 1992 Party Down edition of Glow Rods Weekly.
What? I don't know what any of that means. That does it.
The one with the,
Yes.
and the...
Yes.
I even had it laminated to guard against your nightly excretions. Oh.
Fine, human. Check this shit out.
Ilias straight up flexes, showing me his delts, biceps, triceps, and a multitude of muscles that I can't even name. You read enough dirty magazines to know that humans are definitely capable of achieving such a body, Illy. Exactly what I'm talking about!
I'll also take the liberty to remind you that you had those muscles when you were alive.
Yeah, well, can a human do this?
Ilias drops to the ground and straight into a planking position.
Get on my back, Laurel! You too, Val!
Fuck.
You cannot be fucking serious.
Ugh.
Laurel doesn't seem to mind the request and sits astride him like they're riding a pony.
Ugh.
With a huff, Valeria follows suit. It's an interesting sort of vampire pyramid. Now what?
Watch.
He begins doing push-ups with one finger. What the fuck is going on? What is happening to me? One second I'm practically begging for my life, and the next they're trying to impress me with their talents. I don't know what to think as my mind boomerangs from terrified to fascinated to enthralled. This certainly isn't what I had in mind all the times I've dreamed about watching three hot vampires ride each other. I'd be lying if I said this was exactly what I expected.
I'm sorry to tell you that everything you've learned from your insipid modern media is likely wrong. Laughable at best.
That makes sense. Everything? Laurel and Valeria dismount and Ilias huffs as he stands to join them. Yes, everything. I have so many questions. Ask them about garlic, crosses, and holy water. Okay, so, since I'm a writer, my personal vampire lore is the garlic thing is a load of shit. I don't understand how it started. I don't want to understand how it started. It's stupid. Holy water, I get. Crosses, kind of get. But, I mean, like, not all vampires are Christian. Is the garlic thing true? Does it harm you?
Quite the opposite, actually. It's delicious.
Thank you, writers of this game.
Especially on bread.
Fuck yeah, dude. But bread makes you fat.
Bread makes you fat?
And especially from the Garden of Olives restaurant.
Oh, Lord.
You know their unlimited breadsticks aren't really unlimited? They cut you off after 47 refills.
Okay. I want to know if one of the writers, like, figured that out, or if this is just a wild joke. When you're there, you're there. Okay, but what about coffins?
Do I look like I sleep in a coffin to you?
No.
Who do you think I am? Fucking Nosferatu?
Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying Nosferatu is real?
In a way, I suppose.
Dracula is very real, and Nosferatu is based on him, so...
You know, I actually knew Dracula personally.
Ilias groans loudly, but Valeria continues, raising her voice slightly as if to drown out his obvious sorrow. Vampires might not age, but the way that Laurel and Ilias seem to wither at the prospect of listening to her tell another story seems to sap a few centuries off their infinite lifespan.
Oh, it was all very exciting at first, the whole King of Darkness thing. But then you come to realize that he's far too invested in the wrong kind of impaling.
Nice.
Ah, such a waste.
Wait. You had sex with Dracula?
Oh, well, of course I fucked him. I'm not stupid. Oh, he's 6'7" and built like a god.
Have you seen Castlevania? Absolutely.
I'm just saying, it's unfortunate that he showed more interest in skewering his enemies than me. And I'm not going to beg any man, Dracula or not, to pay me attention.
This is a woman that knows what she wants. My mind is officially blown. Okay, now I have to ask. What exactly is the difference between vampire sex and human sex?
Oh, you poor creature. You have no idea.
But, like, could you give me an idea?
It's better than your inadequate human mind could ever possibly imagine.
I don't know, I've read some H.P. Lovecraftian, like, Cthulhu-y sort of. You know, I'm gonna stop talking.
We can physically see lust spiraling off of bodies like smoky tendrils can taste the pheromones that linger on the tip of gasping tongues.
You know, that lines up with a lot of, like, erotic vampire lore that I know about. We can smell every bead of sweat and cum. Okay, I was not expecting cum to be here. A plethora of aromas. Sweet, salty, and inviting.
It rules!
My heart starts racing, and then... Hang on, why the fuck are we still talking to our dinner? Dinner?
Yes, that would be you. Sans a good garnish.
I'm known to be pretty tasty.
Ugh, my urge to kill it is dissipating. This human has no sense of self-preservation.
Oh, am I not making it fun for you?
Ugh.
It's no fun if you're not scared. Hey, It really has been too long since I had a good, hot, fresh meal. As I stare into 3 sets of wide, scarlet eyes, I feel like I'm standing on the precipice of something. Something terrifying and life-ruining. But my heart is racing like I've just won the fucking lottery. I think back to my dream. Was it a premonition? Was the universe predicting my untimely death at the hands of these 3 monsters? You know what would make this mortal's blood taste better? A performance.
I want to play with him. Make it last.
They step forward again, just on the edge of too close, and their hungry gaze roams my body like they're sizing me up for feasting. Hot. The eagerness inside me awakens, stirring curiously, and it takes every ounce of my remaining willpower not to tip my throat in surrender.
Fuck this. I want to kill him right now. And I call dibs.
In an instant, Ilias is racing towards me. His outstretched arms grab my shoulders and we topple over. As I hit the floor for the 2nd time this evening, I feel a very real sense of deja vu wash over me. He licks his lips before baring his cruel fangs.
Ilias, wait.
Valeria bends over and leans close, her long, silky hair falling in my face. She traces the curve of my cheek with her fingertip trailing down over my jaw.
Tell me your name.
Matt Jenkins!
Well, now, Laurel here seems to have taken a liking to you. So that means you have one final chance to plead your case.
Dope.
Good luck. And don't fuck it up.
Oh, I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna save the game real quick. Part 2, Taste. Okay. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. Heh. This isn't exactly what I had in mind when I left my house earlier this evening on the lookout for an adventure. Though it might be a situation that has played out in more than a few of my wicked fantasies, I have a terrible feeling I won't be getting the usual happy ending I imagine. No, this definitely doesn't feel like I'm running off into the sunset with 3 super ripped, super hot vampires with a gentle breeze blowing through my hair deal. Maybe they'll prop me up on the sofa when they're done draining me dry and dress my corpse with a fashionable pair of sunglasses. If I'm lucky. Oh yeah, Weekend at Bernie's this shit. They certainly seem like the type. Focus, Matt. Ilias, who still has me pinned to the floor, is staring at me, a frown pinching his brow, and I wonder if maybe he can hear some of the weird shit currently swirling around in my brain. Valeria, is still hovering close enough that I can smell her sweet perfume, grows more menacing by the second, and Laurel, quiet, contemplative, terrifying Laurel, is wearing a smirk that could kill you from 100 yards away. They're leaning against the wall, watching the whole thing go down from a safe distance. Could be worse. Maybe. If they want me to tell them why they shouldn't just kill me here and now, I'd better put my back into it. As a writer, I'm notoriously good at bullshitting, or as Ghost and User Monsterfucker 69420 commented, presenting a fantasy that has people desperate for more. Need to figure out how to convince them not to open my throat and suck my life away. I'm gonna go ahead and just save over that right quick. And if I fail, honestly it wouldn't be bad either. I'd go out in service of something that I love. And then I have a lightbulb moment. A fucking terrible, ill-advised, monumentally stupid lightbulb moment. Wait! Ilias and Valeria pull back quickly as if struck, their heads tipping to the side in the same way a dog would if he shook a treat box. Laurel just huffs a laugh, but it doesn't look like they plan on stopping me from further pleading my case. I have to wonder if these 3 ever manage to have a fresh meal. If you kill me, people will find you. I want to be like you. Let's figure out what choice is the right one. First one. I have a proposition for you. Say I do end up with all the bargaining chips. What exactly do I want? I'm a paranormal writer. Am I just content to leave with only the memory of this insane night trying to do it justice in my writing? Or do I want something more? A souvenir, a trinket maybe. Or...
We're waiting.
Fuck it, these are vampires clearly. Immortality must be on the table here. I take a deep breath. What would I have to do to convince you to make me like you? To turn me into a vampire? Ilias burst into laughter immediately, which is really great for my ego, if not expected, actually. But when I tear my eyes from his doubled-over hulking form and look at Valeria and Laurel, they seem to be intrigued.
That's hilarious. A really good one. I forgot humans could be so funny.
Talk.
I mean, I'd be stupid not to ask, right? I've literally dreamed of having an opportunity like this my whole life. Can you blame me for not taking the risk? You're going to kill me regardless, I think. Valeria shrugs and looks at Laurel.
The human isn't wrong.
Ilias snaps his head from side to side quickly, looking between his two comrades like they just grew horns.
Wait, are you actually pausing right now? Why aren't we chowing down?
Ugh.
Shush, Illy.
So if you really want this, convince us.
My mouth falls open, then closes. Open. Close. Right. I can do that. Shit. Fuck! What have I done? I feel Ilias's grip on my shoulders loosen as he swings the leg over to stop straddling me. Reluctantly, he sets me free and I instinctively sit up, scooting my knees into my chest.
We're expecting some good entertainment this evening now, you know. Though I'll warn you in case you haven't already guessed, we're a pretty tough crowd.
Yeah, I know. I gulp, but I can work with that. This is just a game, right? A very stupid, very deadly game, but I've been gifted with a few more turns to make this work in my favor. And hey, I play tons of the games. I'll just have to use all my charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent to turn the tables. Judging by the looks on their faces, the longer I dilly-dally, the hungrier and more impatient they get. And like I already said, and like they already confirmed, the odds of me walking out of here alive are virtually non-existent. That's more than fair. I'm gonna go ahead and save a new slot. I pause, letting the words hang in the air. Knowing I now have the full attention of the vampires, I use my next turn to stand up and brush myself off, making sure my stance is as confident as I can muster. They don't need to know I'm metaphorically shitting myself, despite them probably being able to hear my heart screaming in my chest.
It's not every day we come across a human who lacks fear when staring death in the face.
So, enlighten us. Well, firstly, you're all really fucking hot. Valeria rolls her eyes so hard I think they might fall out of her skull.
Okay.
Stating the obvious, kitten. What I mean is, vampires are brilliant, fascinating creatures that, until tonight, I thought weren't fact, but fiction. I've studied you, written about you. Why would I be afraid to die when it's literally my Freudian death wish dream fulfillment come to life? It's not as pretty as you seem to think.
There's a lot of blood. Like a ton. A whole body's worth.
Oh, it's especially messy when Illy is involved.
It doesn't count if you don't get the blood everywhere. He points at Valeria, and the look she gives him makes me think that she might bite his finger off.
Plus, you're not even half as delicate as you think you are. You get sloppy too.
She turns her nose up at him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Illy is right. Remember that couple in Trinidad?
Oh, so you do get a little messy. I do not. She clearly does.
I remember walking in on the three of you. It was a complete bloodbath. I'll never forget your face.
Don't make me make you forget my face.
As I listen to them talk about their past indiscretions, the idea of joining them on raucous, blood-fueled vacations sounds deliciously tempting. I muster up as much willpower as I can to keep my voice steady. I'm serious about what I said. I want you to turn me. I feel 3 sets of eyes narrowing in on all of my vital spots. Laurel looks me over like a hamster in a cage. Illy, Val, you are always commenting on your woefully ceaseless boredom. Maybe Matt can liven things up around here. They smile at me, despite it reaching their pretty eyes, it still doesn't quite stick. I am exceptionally good at making life interesting if I do say so myself. I can teach you things like gaming, internet shopping, how not to act on Twitter.
We might be old, but we're not stuck in the Victorian times.
Oh, maybe you can fix my computer? It's doing that thing that it always does.
We can talk about your spectacular ability to infect every device we own with porn malware some other time, Elias.
Dude's a total dork. But for now, our attention should be on why Matt wants to become one of us. What?
Ugh.
With a wave of her hand, I feel my words die on my tongue.
You think it's something we can easily do? Just turn you. Like how humans adopt a puppy?
Well, it's not that hard. Illy, that's not the point.
None of us chose this life. It's not all amazing sex and free meals.
It's not? What Valeria means is that it isn't as glamorous as I assume you believe it to be. Valeria steps towards me, closing the distance between us. She takes my chin between her forefinger and thumb, making sure I have no choice but to look at her. Why should we even bother letting you continue to waste our precious time, Matt?
Oh, entertaining you and your little idea was fun for a second. But I get bored so very easily, and Illy's tummy is going to start growling soon.
She leans closer again, her lips brushing my ear. You won't like him when he's hungry.
Hey, I'm always hungry.
Ah, shit. Another choice? There. I want to be strong. I want to protect people. I want to be young and beautiful forever. I want to mess with people. Oh. I'm assuming 3 of these will determine what route I'm going on. And one of these is like an either or sort of thing. I want to protect people. If I was gifted with the kind of unimaginable power that comes with immortality, I'd do what any upstanding citizen would. I'd use the power bestowed upon me to protect the people from the evils of this world. That's incredibly idealistic when we live in a world of grays.
You do know we don't have souls, right?
That's fucking boring. I told you we should have killed him already.
Then I hear... Is that a meow? Wait, you have a cat?
Nasty Dennis, he's not just a cat.
I'm sorry, his name is Nasty Dennis? I look around for this Nasty Dennis and see nothing. The quiet, somewhat intimidating meowing continues. Can I see him?
Ugh.
It isn't quite that simple, I'm afraid. He's more fiend than feline.
If you do see him, it's probably a bad omen for you, human.
Is he like one of those cats who sit with elderly people in nursing homes before they die? Valeria snorts derisively. Can't say that word.
I'll probably just shred your jugular.
So that's where the nasty comes from. Got it. Someone is enamored. I don't blame you. He's a fine specimen.
Right.
Despite being a complete bastard, yes. That's most cats. I want to say that I'm enamored, just curious?
Isn't curiosity what killed the cat?
Valeria then gestures towards the gallery wall behind her with a dramatic flourish, presenting a portrait with dainty hands. Nasty Dennis is a shaggy white Persian with a permanent resting murder face, and he's wearing a dashing, tiny red bow tie. Oh, that's him on the wall! I pet the portrait. I do what any smart person would do and walk right up to the portrait of Nasty Dennis to give it a closer inspection. What a handsome murder man. I reach out and scratch his perfect little painted chin, trying to bite back my smile as I feel the 3 of them watching me like I just grew another head.
This is all highly amusing, but we do still have other matters to attend to here. Just because you've lasted this long doesn't mean we won't kill you, you know.
Trying to distract us by using Nasty Dennis as a pawn. I'm onto you, human.
No, that wasn't the plan.
Come on.
I'm getting really hungry and my patience is running out. I'm this close to snapping and eating you right here, right now. Right, that whole thing. Shit, I'm not sure how much longer I can hold them off like this. I've partaken in a risky game of breaking and entering, trespassing, and most heinously, I interrupted their game night, and now I'm stuck in a game of my own making. One of life and death. Can't just stand by and hope they'll start to want to keep me around without putting the work in, especially with such an incredible opportunity being dangled right before my eyes. Like all good relationships, it's not all about me. I need to know more about them. I need to know what the fuck I'm getting myself into if this pans out the way I want it to. You've interrogated me, now maybe you should let me ask you some questions.
A question for question seems fair.
Laurel winks at me and extends their fingers, my eyes drifting to those sharp, shiny talons.
But be careful. Any wrong answers in your innards will make a nice table dressing.
Hot. Valeria seems to perk up at the prospect of getting to talk about herself.
Okay.
What exactly do you want to know? There are a lot of things I can ask. I can think of to ask them right off the top of my head. Like, do bats make good company, for example? But then maybe I should use my chances wisely and ask something productive. What do you miss most about being a human?
Nothing. I'm perfect.
I stare at him for a beat. He seems pretty serious. I expected something a little more profound, not gonna lie. Laurel smiles softly, almost wistfully.
Music festivals.
Oh. Cool. What about you, Valeria? Valeria? Her mouth forms a little O, her eyes wide, and she looks almost taken aback for a moment before she regains her steely composure and glares daggers at me.
I lived in a castle once. A big, fancy one with pretty women who would dress me every morning and brush my hair.
She scrunches up her nose and looks around the living room.
Ugh.
Clearly, I've downgraded. Hey, this is a nice house.
Is it a castle? With pretty women who dress me and brush my hair every morning?
I mean, no, but still. It could be? But no. No, it is not.
And there's my answer. I want a fucking castle. And to be surrounded by beautiful women.
Ah, that's the dream. Noted. Now it's our turn. Laurel's eyes are sharp and full of mischief.
Who do you stand in LBS?
Laurel, are you a K-pop stan? When I decided to do a round-robin game of truth and truth with a trio of hungry, sassy vampires, I can't say I anticipated this one, but I must acquiesce. Oh god. Oh god. SM is my... What does that mean? Let's say you have a favorite band member, your bias. Then one of the other members does something that makes you rethink who your bias is. Therefore, bias wrecker. SM, no, J-Dream. This one, I guess. I can practically feel the excitement lighting on my face. I fucking love LBS. J-Dream is undoubtedly my favorite. Not only is he an amazing rapper and dancer, but his production skills are second to none. Is that satisfactory, Laurel? They nod, but I'm not entirely sure if I've made a good impression or not. Before I can ask my next question, Ilias practically bulldozes Laurel out of the way. Okay, Matt. 1.
How does a 3-day hunt in the woods sound to you? 2. How do you like your blood to taste? 3. Where is your favorite place to bite someone?
The inner thigh.
4. What are your opinions on swords?
Pretty cool. Well, someone's eager. I fancy nibbling on a good collarbone. Hunting for cryptids. Of course I like swords. That one. Well, I'm sure there's no wrong place to bite someone. I think a nice nibble on the collarbone sounds quite delectable. There's something sexy about the sharp curve of them, the way they so delicately frame the top of the chest. And the bite there would, of course, be a sensual one. It's not like you'd just whip out your collarbones for anyone, right? I imagine if you do it just right, it's pretty hot. They all look pretty shocked. Clearly, they underestimated me and my ability to wax poetic about body parts.
Oh, I do appreciate the way you talk about bones.
I feel my cheeks start to heat. And by the way that Ilias is looking at me, his chest is heaving. I think I might have excited him. Now.
Are you quite finished hogging the human, Illy?
Yes, they're fighting over me. Perfect. Ilias pouts and Valeria pats him on the chest, and then she's staring me down, a deadly look in her eyes. My turn.
Tell me, if given a chance, how would you try to impress a fine specimen of a vampire like myself?
Oh, I gotta be fancy. She pokes at one of her fangs with her tongue. Feels like a threat. Sexy one. Think fast. Write a story, take you anywhere in the world. I'd give you a killer foot rub. Oh man, come on. I don't know. Page 2? Killer foot rub. I don't know. Do vampires have feeling in their feet anymore? I don't know. She can already go anywhere in the world. I'll write a story about you? Most of my strength lies in crafting stories, and Valeria seems the type to want to be the center of attention. What better way to woo her than make up her the star of her very own epic? Well, I'm a writer, and a quite prolific one if you respect the opinions of AO3 reviewers. I could write a story about you, a movie-worthy epic about your life. Say more right now. It'd be great. We could sit and you could tell me about all the amazing adventures you've had. She nods a little too enthusiastically for someone who tries so hard to project an aura of abject terror. It's kind of adorable.
Ah, yes. Val talking about herself. Something none of us have ever heard before.
Ilias snorts loudly, giving Laurel a crisp high five.
You two can piss off. I'm going to be famous.
All of these questions, all of this incessant prodding. This is either the weirdest job interview I've had or the best speed dating session I've ever been to. Can't tell if I like it or love it. Love it, definitely love it. Before they pump me for more information, there's something I'm desperate to ask about. Powers, abilities. I know they have them, and I want to know it all. And we'll have to find out in the next video, because I'm out of time for this one. So, thank you guys so very much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.